In the far reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, on the shimmering planet of Zephyria, the royal family of the Lumina Clan ruled with an iron fist. The Lumina were a race of ethereal beings, their skin glowing with bioluminescent patterns that shifted with their emotions. They were known for their perfection, both in appearance and in their societal structure. To be flawed was to be an outcast, a stain on the pristine fabric of their civilization. Princess Lyra, the youngest daughter of King Solarius, was born with a defect. Her bioluminescent markings were irregular, flickering unpredictably instead of flowing in the harmonious patterns expected of royalty. Her stepmother, Queen Seraphine, saw this as an affront to the family's legacy. "A flawed heir is no heir at all," she declared, her voice cold as the void of space. "She will bring shame to the Lumina name." Despite King Solarius's protests, Seraphine's influence was too great. Lyra was marked as flawed and exiled to the desolate moon of Cryos, a barren wasteland where the unwanted were sent to perish. The moon was a place of eternal twilight, its surface littered with the remnants of failed colonies and forgotten souls. Lyra was left there with nothing but a small pot of supplies and a single beacon that would signal her location, though she knew no one would come. Years passed. Lyra learned to survive on Cryos, her once delicate hands now calloused from scavenging and building shelters. She grew stronger, both in body and spirit, but the loneliness was a constant ache. She often gazed at the stars, wondering if her father ever thought of her, or if her stepmother had erased her from memory entirely. One day, as she was exploring a crumbling ruin, she stumbled upon an ancient artifact, a device that emitted a faint hum. It was unlike anything she had seen before, its surface etched with strange symbols. As she touched it, the device activated, projecting a holographic map of the galaxy. A single point blinked insistently, far beyond Zephyria's borders. Lyra's heart raced. Could this be a way off Cryos? A way to escape her exile and find a new purpose? She spent weeks deciphering the symbols, using the limited knowledge she had from her royal education. The map led to a distant star system, one inhabited by a species she had only heard of in stories, humans. Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Elias Kane was a seasoned explorer, part of a deep space mission to chart uncharted regions of the galaxy. His ship, the Ether's Edge, was equipped with advanced technology, but even he was unprepared for what he would find. While scanning a remote sector near Cryos, the ship's sensors picked up an unusual energy signature. "Captain, you're going to want to see this," said his first officer, Dr. Mira Patel. "It's not natural. It's artificial." Elias leaned over the console, his sharp blue eyes narrowing as he studied the readings. "Set a course for the source. Let's see what's out here." When the Ether's Edge entered Cryos' orbit, Elias and a small team descended to the surface. The moon was bleak, its atmosphere thin and cold. As they followed the signal, they found Lyra's makeshift camp, and the princess herself, standing defiantly with a makeshift spear in hand. "Stay back," she warned, her voice trembling but fierce. Her bioluminescent markings flickered erratically, casting an eerie glow in the dim light. Elias raised his hands in a gesture of peace. "We're not here to hurt you. My name is Captain Elias Kane. We're explorers from Earth." Lyra hesitated, her glowing eyes scanning the humans. She had never seen beings like them before, their skin dull and unchanging, their expressions open and curious. Slowly, she lowered her spear. "I am Lyra of the Lumina Clan," she said, her voice steadying, "though I am no longer welcome among my people." Over the following days, Lyra told Elias her story. He listened intently, his heart aching for the young woman who had been cast aside for something as trivial as a physical imperfection. "You're not flawed," he said firmly. "You're unique. And that's something to be celebrated, not hidden away." Lyra's markings glowed softly, a sign of gratitude. For the first time in years, she felt a flicker of hope. Elias offered her a place on the ether's edge, and though she was wary, she accepted. Together, they deciphered the artifact's map, which led to an ancient alien outpost hidden in a distant nebula. The journey was fraught with danger. They encountered hostile alien species, navigated treacherous asteroid fields, and faced the ever-present threat of the unknown. But through it all, Lyra proved herself to be resourceful and brave. She learned to pilot the ship, contributed to the crew's scientific research, and even saved Elias's life during a skirmish with space pirates. As they grew closer, Elias found himself drawn to Lyra's resilience and kindness. She, in turn, admired his courage and compassion. Their bond deepened, transcending the boundaries of species and culture. When they finally reached the outpost, they discovered something extraordinary. The artifact was a key to an ancient archive, containing knowledge and technology far beyond anything the Lumina or humans had ever seen. Among the records was a prophecy about a Flawed One who would unite disparate races and bring peace to the galaxy. Lyra stared at the holographic text, her markings pulsing with emotion. This is about me," she whispered. "But how?" Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "You were never flawed, Lyra. You were destined for something greater. And now, you have the chance to prove it." The return to Zephyria. Armed with the knowledge from the archive, Lyra and Elias returned to Zephyria. The Lumina were initially hostile, but when Lyra demonstrated the power of the ancient technology, even Queen Seraphine was forced to acknowledge her worth. "I was wrong," Seraphine admitted, her voice trembling. "You are not flawed. You are the future of our people." Lyra forgave her stepmother, not out of obligation, but because she had learned the value of compassion. She used the archive's knowledge to heal the divisions within Zephyrian society, creating a new era of acceptance and unity. Elias stayed by her side, their love a symbol of the bond between humans and Lumina. Together, they worked to share the archive's wisdom with other civilizations, fostering peace and cooperation across the galaxy. Years later, Lyra stood on the balcony of the royal palace, her markings glowing with a steady, radiant light. Elias joined her, slipping his hand into hers. "You've changed everything," he said softly. Lyra smiled, her gaze fixed on the stars. "We've changed everything," she corrected. Together, and as they looked out at the vast expanse of the galaxy, they knew that their journey was just beginning. The flawed princess had become a beacon of hope, proving that true strength lies not in perfection, but in the courage to embrace who we are and to fight for a better future.